McGraw in the Morning continues on the Big 550 KTRS.
He's our friend, been our friend now for going on 2.5 years. Charles D'Angelo, weight loss coach extraordinaire, comes in once a month and gives us a couple of helpful hints on trying to stay healthy and to get healthy. Charles D'Angelo, welcome back, Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, McGraw, how you doing?
Your book, Think and Grow Thin, is out. How's that going?
Wonderful. It's really taken off. People are picking it up. It's at Barnes & Noble now, of course. It's on Amazon. And what's really, really remarkable is the emails I get every day now from person after person saying that they've lost 15 pounds in a month, or they've been able to eliminate their prescription hypertension medication or their diabetic medication. Their doctor's been able to take these things out once they've changed their habits with their foods and exercise, and most importantly, the way they're thinking about food and exercise.
You worked with me for years. We still have a relationship off
Absolutely.
the air with working on your program. And I will say this publicly, Lauren Ryan worked here. I've worked here for 6 or 7 years, tried to lose 20 pounds. Took her 6 years, didn't lose anything. And she's working with you for a month and a half, and she's lost 20-plus pounds.
Whenever a person puts their mind to really being consistent in their eating habits and their exercise, nothing's impossible. They can achieve whatever they set out to achieve, and that's my whole message, is that I've been there. I get it. Struggling with my weight as a teenager, 360 pounds, feeling miserable, desperate, hopeless. I understand that trap a person gets into. I kind of call it the defeat whirlpool, where you try to lose some weight, but you really don't stay as consistent as you should. So you feel bad you're not losing as quickly. You have a couple Big Macs. You then feel worse. You eat some more, and you get in this whirlpool that just pulls you deeper and deeper down,
right.
And you feel there's no way out. And what I'm here to say is there is a way out if you'll change the way you think about food and exercise.
Talk about this for a moment, because this is always interesting. And I had this when I was trying to quit smoking. You would get afraid of the crave. In other words, you would be like, I don't want to quit smoking because I'm so afraid, because next Tuesday I have this big stressful event and I can't handle not having a cigarette.
It becomes an obsession almost. Sure.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or, you know what, I'd love to lose weight, but I know I have a big event on Friday and I can't not eat at that event on Friday.
Well, the nice thing about the way I've developed my program and the program outline in the book is there's, of course, the refuel night, right? So that's the night that for dinner you get to choose to have something that might be different than your normal nightly meal, where you can have variety and you can choose something that's different. So you're never restricted from having those things. But what you find is, as you start feeling better because you're eating much higher quality foods, you're exercising, your energy is so much better, your clothes are fitting looser, people are telling you how great you look, you find that you don't desire those things so much. So it becomes less and less of an obsession, because you look at those foods in an entirely different way. No longer are they a source of pleasure, but rather you look at them and you say, how in the world was I eating like that every single day? Because you realize when you do have those foods, let's say on a Friday night you go out, you have a big bowl of pasta and meatballs and meat sauce, and you feel so lethargic and so tired the next day. You say, how was I feeding myself like that all the time? So once you really change it, you don't have those same cravings and feelings.
It is amazing how once you start eating better, then you have a bad day where you eat bad. It is amazing how awful you feel, and you're like, I cannot believe that this bad meal has made me in a bad mood. I feel terrible.
Irritable,
I feel
tired.
bloated. I feel
gross.
Gross. I mean, it's amazing.
It is, and the thing that I think people should take a look at is, even if they do have a day where they don't stay as consistent as they wanted to, they need to isolate that and say that's okay that happened, as long as I'm right back on track that next meal or that next day. And not saying that, let's say on Saturday rolls around and you eat whatever you want because you had a terribly stressful argument with your significant other, so you just go crazy and eat ravenously. You don't want to let that bleed over into the rest of the day and then into Sunday and then to Monday. And so many people get in that trap of saying, well, I'll get back to it on Monday. You've got to change your thinking so that in the immediate you say, I'm not going to let this continue. I messed up, but that's a learning opportunity. I'm going to get right back on track. I'm going to go back to my schedule of foods. But so many people don't even know what to eat.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you know what also I notice? If I miss working out for 2 or 3, 4 days.
During your cardio? Sure.
I also feel terrible, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's amazing. You just feel like and then like that fourth day, you're like, it's like physically painful to go to the gym. But once you're done, you're like, oh, thank goodness. And if you work out every day, it's easier to go every day.
Now, how did you get to the point, though, where you didn't dread it? Where when you first start, and there's people out there that are listening, I'm sure, that are so overweight they feel that if they go to a gym, they're not even going to be able to walk on a treadmill. Right. How did you get yourself to the point where you actually started to look forward to it?
I think the minute I put on a piece of clothing, a pants or shirt, and it was loose, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So then it only took a week and a half, 10 days, 2 weeks, where you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Wow, this is actually working. And then once that triggers, that shirt's the collar's a little loose, the pants are a little loose or something, then all of a sudden you're off to the races.
Yeah, and your energy's so much better, and you're sleeping better.
Right.
And then you go to a doctor's office, and they tell you how much healthier you are. All those things start to compound upon one another, and you find yourself positively addicted instead of negatively addicted.
It's a great story. Charles D'Angelo, how does somebody get a hold of you?
My website's the best thing, where they can see tons of pictures and videos. It's charlesdangelo.com.